The territory of being famous?
Yeah,
I think most celebrities have to deal with people getting obsessed with them and hanging out in front of their house.
Does that trouble you, living in a place like Los Angeles?
Well, it happens to me everywhere, even places I don't live, so... I mean, people that are really into you follow you wherever you go, when you're on tour, when you're traveling around and stuff. I see the same people everywhere. Not psychos or anything like that. I mean, just fans, like kind of obsessive fans. They sort of go everywhere you go. Like you're like in one part of the world, you go somewhere else, you're like, oh my God, this person is standing in the front row of the concert. You know, you're in South America, then you go to France and they're there too. Then you go to Israel, they're there too. Then you go to Australia and they're there too. It's like, God, don't they have to work? But it just comes with the territory. I don't really think about it. If I think about it too much, I think, it would bother me.
What's up, everybody? This is Guillermo Diaz, and you are listening to MLVC, the Madonna podcast. Your place to feel it on my fingertips, hear it on my window pane, for all things Madonna, Louise, Veronica, Chico.
Hey guys, I'm Tony, and I'm going to dress you up in my love.
And hello, everyone. I'm Stefan, and boy, oh boy, do we have a treat for y'all today. That's right, you heard correctly at the open of the show just now. In the studio today with us is none other than Mr. Scandal himself, Mr. Guillermo Diaz. Guillermo, welcome.
Thank you. More, please. I want more.
Welcome to the Maxi Pad in Brooklyn, where we're recording today.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you, Guillermo. Originally, you got on my radar back in 1995 with what I feel is one of the most iconic independent movies of all time, Party Girl. It's literally, quite possibly, one of my most favorite movies ever. I was in college. I was constantly quoting it with friends, and it's given me an appreciation for falafel, and seltzer, right? I was watching a little
Lady
bit.
Bunny.
I'm watching a little bit of it last night, and I honestly think it still holds up, and it's such a great little time capsule of like that time of New York City and partying and clubs, and I mean they have Delight on the soundtrack. It's amazing,
Yeah.
And so we'll get to Party Girl. I do have a couple Party Girl questions. We'll get to that in a second. But for all of our listeners out there who might not know who Guillermo Diaz is, shame on you.
He's a big Madonna fan.
Yes, huge Madonna fan. After Party Girl, he was in a slew of projects. I mean, so many that we can't even list all of them because we just don't have the time. But you might know him in projects such as Half Baked. He was on Chappelle's Show, Sopranos, obviously Scandal on ABC.
Stonewall.
Right. He's been on Law
Nowhere.
and Order SVU, Girls, Broad City, RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, God, Guillermo, you've been fucking busy. I mean, seriously. I do want to focus on one particular year, though, in your career. And the year is 2008. In 2008, you starred in a movie titled The Candy Shop with Omar Gooding. Now, that same year, Guillermo, a certain pop star named Madonna released her album Hard Candy, and on that album was a song called Candy Shop. Coincidence?
Oh, God. Well, listen, the song is much better than the movie. So go buy Hard Candy and don't go see that movie. I don't think you can anywhere.
I literally was looking at your film credits and I was like, wait, he was in a movie called The Candy Shop. And I was like, what?
While we're on the topic, though, I want to know what you think about Candy Shop being such a repeat offender in the last 3 tours.
I think it's freaking great. My favorite version of Candy Shop is when she does it on the MDNA tour.
Oh, the erotic Candy
Yes.
Shop.
Oh, so
more like
good.
loungy late night type of vibe.
Yes, and Brahim, like her ex-boyfriend, right?
We don't trade in salacious gossip on
Oh,
this.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even
Isn't
think about it.
he the one that Unapologetic Bitch is about?
Is it?
I hear it.
Oh, really?
Oh, I thought that song was about me.
Duh.
The song was recorded before she laid eyes on you.
Oh, true.
But of course, Candy Shop, when she opens the Sticky and Sweet tour with it, is so good. With her leg over the, the
I love
arm
that.
of the chair.
Yeah.
So good. So
Crotch.
good.
It's all about crotch
Yes.
with that pose. It's a lot of fun.
Do you think Candy Shop will be making an appearance in the Madame X tour?
Oh, man. I don't know. I hope so. I hope it does. And I hope she's wearing a trench coat and high ass heels when it comes on.
Well, so speaking of the Madame X tour, as everyone should be aware, the Queen goes back on tour starting this coming week. It is a fever pitch of excitement in the Madonna-verse. To commemorate the opening of the show, thank you, Live Nation, for listening to us. They have brought back the Madonna pop-up shop in good old West Chelsea. I have already been raped and pillaged from the pop-up shop.
Same.
Oh, did you go?
Yes, I went yesterday.
And?
In the afternoon, I got 2 shot glasses,
Nice.
3 T-shirts. I didn't get the jacket. I'm going to go back and get the jacket, though. I think I had that same moment that Stefan was telling me about of like, I love it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get it yet.
Yeah, because it's a big chunk of change.
But I can't stop thinking about it, so I'm probably going to go back and get it.
That's what happened. I had went to the pop-up shop, tried the jacket on, was like, no, this is too much money. I can't. I got to pay rent. And so I went to the gym. I just took a couple pictures with the jacket on. I was like, oh, this will be fine. I'll be able. And that was the worst thing, putting the jacket on, because I had those pictures and I was looking at it at my workout. My workout was shit that day because I just was focusing on the fucking jacket. And you know what? I blame Madonna in Desperately Seeking Susan for jacket fetish that I have, because I swear to God, how they obsess over that pyramid jacket in Desperately Seeking Susan. It must just have gotten implanted in my brain.
Are they taking trade-ins at the pop-up shop? Could you trade your shoes in?
Oh, that would have been great. Yeah. Trade my boots in.
Oh my God, those boots.
Oh my God.
I like the boots.
Those boots. I would,
I gotta have this jacket.
Oh my God. I was obsessed with that jacket. I went to the pop-up shop. When I was there oogling the jacket, there was a fan from London who had flown in to see the original opening of the show, but then it got canceled. And he had handmade a jacket that looked, it was flawlessly done. And I was like, wow. Oh my God, where did you get this jacket? He's like, oh, I made it myself. I'm like, that's impressive. And it looked exactly like it. It was so good.
Did he have the single earring?
Yes. Nefertiti.
No shit.
No shit.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, good. But yeah, so you're going to go back and buy the jacket then?
I'm going to go back and probably get the jacket and get a few more T-shirts, yeah.
Oh, you're stocking up.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm getting them for friends too. Not just for me.
Well, and then that way you don't have to, the good thing about the pop shop for us here is that you get them and then you don't have to worry about getting them at the concert, you know?
Totally, which is such a mess.
Here's hoping that there's going to be pop-up shops or any of the corresponding cities where she will be on tour.
I hope so. It's kind of a fun thing to sort of go and be in this little store that's dedicated completely to Madonna. You know?
I spoke to the woman that sort of runs it and works for Live Nation, and she said that I asked her if there's going to be pop-ups, around the world, and she said probably not, which is, but she agreed that she thought it was a good idea. It would be a good idea.
It's mostly because, well, obviously they're going to be selling the merchandise at the venues for the concert.
Right.
But also because Live Nation owns that space that they do the pop-up shop. So it's not like they have to, in other cities, unless there was a Live Nation space, they'd have to rent it. For a space, and they just, they want to give that money to Madonna, not to the real estate agent who's going to be renting out the space.
Yeah. What about the paintings that she signed?
Did you see those?
Yes. Part of me is like, maybe I need to invest in that, right? it's signed.
It's not her
know it's really
artwork,
expensive.
though. That's the only thing.
Right.
It's like, but they look good.
Yeah. It's May Couture, right? Is that the artist?
And
I think.
They're beautiful, but yeah, made my jacket look cheap.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun that you went. Were you flogged by fans?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm sure that everyone probably knew who you were.
Yeah.
Were you like in the selfie booth?
I kept showing my tattoo to everybody. I didn't do the selfie booth.
Maybe
next time I go, I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So everyone, if you don't know, Guillermo Diaz has an absolutely gorgeous Madonna tattoo on his arm. It's from the sex book.
It's from the sex book, yeah.
Wait, I haven't seen it. Let me see.
Oh, let's see. Yes, it's the picture of. So if you in the sex book, it's the scene where she's in the club with that German guy from the Deeper and Deeper
She's
video.
on her knees.
Udo Kier.
Yes.
Udo Kier and Danielle de la Falaise. And
I love that you know his name.
And she's on her knees in that gown, and she's holding the riding crop. Yeah, and the diamonds too.
Tony,
Yes.
Guillermo's shaming me for not knowing the name of that, and everyone, you couldn't see that he was shaming me, but just so you know.
I can name check pretty much anyone that was in the sex book, and I've actually met some of the people that were in the sex book.
Tony's here to provide the facts, and I'm here to provide emotional support. Okay?
I have a funny story about the sex book. You know,
Please.
she shot it at the Gaiety, which is this sort of, kind of raunchy, very underground, gay. I don't know if you would call it a club, but
Yeah, I was there because they closed in the early 2000s, but I moved here in 99, and I remember going there specifically to see what went down. It was on 45th and Broadway. It was next to the Howard Johnsons.
Yes, and it's
gone
upstairs.
to.
You have to pay like $10 and you go.
It smelled like
I can only
Clorox.
imagine
You
what
go
it's.
through a
They must have
turnstile.
bleached the shit out of that place
Yeah,
every morning.
I went there a couple of times too. And
You could buy juice.
and then there's like theater seating, and you watch a go-go boy come out and do a little dance, and then
It's very, very open your heart.
I just wanted to say I was there. Yeah, and so was Tony.
Yeah, and I walked in thinking I was going to have this like Stephen Meisel sex book experience, and it was like not even close.
This was when I went. It was way before the sex book even came out. I was just like a horny,
Oh, you were there. You were
20-something
there.
year.
You were event. You were sort of looking for party spaces.
Exactly.
You
I was horny.
Yeah, and the walk up those stairs is very shameful, going up and going down.
Yes.
So, Guillermo, are you seeing the Rebel Heart tour? Where am I?
Unbelievable.
Wrong era. Are you seeing the Madame X show?
I am. I'm
Okay.
going to see it on November 20th in Los Angeles.
So,
Have you seen shows at the Wiltern Theater before? Because I have not, and I'm curious how big it is.
Yeah, I've never been to the Wiltern, and I have no idea what the venue was like. I saw a couple of pictures. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
I mean, she's doing all like Broadway style houses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
so I think
yeah.
they're about 3,000 all the way down.
Okay.
Yeah, 3,000 people.
So are you excited? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you dress up for Madonna shows, or you just?
I don't. I always want to, and then I always end up just wearing like
Same.
black Dickies and a black T-shirt.
Same.
So you won't have your Madame X eye patch on?
I'm thinking that I want my barber to shave an X in my head, which I might do.
That would be fun.
If I'm not shooting at the moment and my hair has to look a certain way, and I can't have a freaking X on my head,
have a Madonna.
then I'll do it. But yeah, so I think I'm going to do that.
She's also announced a couple of new shows. There's going to be a few shows in San Francisco, including a Halloween one. Which
Yes.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And for all you Chicagoland people, there's going to be a couple extra shows added.
Yes, so good. I mean, hey, I love that there's demand for Madame X and for the fans in San Francisco that were previously unable to go see. Hopefully also we were at the pop-up shop. I was running into a bunch of fans who had flown in from Canada and other parts of the country for the opening, and because of the kerfuffle with the delay, they aren't able to go now. And
Yes.
so hopefully maybe because of where Chicago and San Francisco are, maybe some people will be able to go, and it'll rectify a little bit of injustice for them.
Right.
So
Rectify my love.
but the one thing I did want to mention about seeing the Madame X show is the big announcement this week. The email came out that there will be no cell phones allowed at any of the shows, or at least the first couple shows in New York. I'm not sure if it's a concert-wide or it is all?
I get Google alerts. I don't know if you guys do, but Coliseum in Las Vegas. It's around every local newspaper has devoted space to this, and I think it's funny. Like the Las Vegas Examiner. It's like no phones at Madonna show at Coliseum.
Yeah, and it's really created a bit of I was looking at some of the Madonna fan sites, and people are outraged that they can't go to a Madonna show, watch the concert through their phone, and have some shitty pictures to remember the experience by. I'm like, I get it. Some people are sort of upset because they figure, well, they're paying this much money, they should be able to take video and pictures. But at the same time, I'm like, nobody complains about this when they go see Hamilton.
Yep, exactly. Totally.
But you guys, the thing is a lot of these people have never been to a concert without a phone.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
they don't know what it's like to cry into your newly purchased T-shirt at the Blonde Ambition show.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I mean, exactly. Like, I think for Drown World Tour, I had a stupid, instantaneous little box camera that I had to go get developed at the local CVS.
I
or
wouldn't
whatever.
even dare. I was so scared I'd get in trouble.
Well, I figured that's why I brought a disposable camera, because I figured I'm not bringing in an actual camera, because if they don't let it in and they take it from me, I'll be pissed. But I was like, a $10 disposable camera from the local drugstore. I'm like, I don't care. They can throw that out. And honestly, the pictures are so shitty that I was like, I shouldn't have even bothered.
Yeah.
You know, what's the point? So
the system that's been proposed, that's actually going to be used, is called Yonder, adopted by Live Nation and the Madam X Goon Squad. So what you have to do is, when you get in there, they give you like a little phone case with a snap. So you put your phone in there. There's a snap, and you can't open the case without a key.
it's a magnet, I think.
It's a magnet, yeah. So you can't access your phone the entire time, which is great, you know? I mean,
So tell the babysitter if
you're-
the kids act up while you're out watching Madonna, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
So put your phone on silence, and then there's going to be a designated phone.
There's phone
Areas,
stations, I believe, set up in the
Mm-hmm.
BAM. Hopefully that there'll be little pictures of Madonna that you can look at while you're charging or checking messages or
Those boards with holes, where you can stick your face in.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, you can be it's like a Madam X cardboard cutout. You could become Madam X while you're charging your phone. That'd be fun.
No phones.
No phones. I texted a couple friends because I'm like, people are so upset about this no phone policy. I bet you that I can get them on something else. So I texted a couple people saying, oh, you were one of them, Tony.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, did you hear she now has a dress code for the show? I'm like, no shorts and guys have to wear button-down shirts. And literally people were like, what? Freaking out. And I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. She did. But I was just trying to build on that because people were so upset over this no phone thing. I was like, they'll believe anything at this point. So yeah.
That phone thing is common practice in LA when you go to certain premieres. It's really easy. They just they watch you turn your phone off, you put it in the thing, and they give it back to you in the sack. And if you need to use your phone, go back outside. They'll open it up and put it back in when you go back in the venue, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, people, life goes on.
Yeah. Please, we're all old enough to remember we saw most of our Madonna concerts without our phones. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
But actually speaking on that, so we have Guillermo Diaz here with us, if you're just joining us on the podcast. And
You can't just tune in.
it's not like a live radio show. Well, maybe they fast forward, maybe they're maybe it gets good half an hour in or something.
They're like, when are they going to let Guillermo talk?
Plenty.
So let's talk about Niki and Donna. We all went to see them a couple of nights ago.
Yes, in case you had seen us on our Instagram, backup singers Niki and Donna were at Come On Everybody in Brooklyn for a little special. Well, it wasn't a Madonna fan night because they were mostly doing original material, but they did treat us to a rousing rendition of Rain, and they then did people were shouting at them to sing other Madonna songs, and so they did a couple bars of Causing a Commotion, and what was the other one? Express Yourself. Yeah. I heard some people in the front row saying, do this, and Niki was just like, honey, we want to do the ones we know.
Yeah.
Let's... but yeah, so did Guillermo tell us, did you enjoy the experience?
I did. It was great. It was awesome. You hooked me up. I found out about it because Donna Lory posted something and I saw it. But the show was sold out. So Stefan was kind enough to tell me, to go anyway and he would get me in. And it was an amazing experience. It was super fun.
Yeah, you snuck up to the side of the show. You were basically on stage with them.
Yeah. And then the great thing is they did a meet and greet for everyone at the end where you got to meet them and take a picture with them. And, I bought one of Niki's dance CDs and she signed that and a picture of Niki and Donna. And it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was great that they took as much time as they did. Literally, I think they were there for an hour and a half after they performed to make sure that they greeted and signed and took pictures with every single fan that was at the venue. It was really good of them to do that. Most people would be after 15 minutes, they're like, all right, see ya.
Yep.
I'm out.
No, not them, because even from when they were on stage performing, they have a very generous vibe. They wanted to include you in their love fest, which I was more than willing to,
Yeah, except for when Madonna wanted Niki to say hi to Marty. Niki, aren't you going to say hi to Marty?
I'm going to have drinks with my family.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, it was great. They did a bunch of original material, and I thought the crowd seemed really into it, and they think that they're probably going to, try to do more shows. Hopefully they'll visit some other cities like Los Angeles, maybe Chicago. I'm not quite sure like where they're based or where they're like looking to go, but it seemed like it was a positive experience for them and for the fans, which was good. It was kind of trippy to meet them and be in the same space as like, again, like with Madonna, it's like these women, I mean, they're in one of the best rock documentaries that exists in the world. And the fact, and then they have just these great experiences of having like gone on tour with Madonna multiple times. So it's just like, it's kind of crazy. And they've lived a blessed life and they look fantastic.
Yeah, they look great.
But let's talk about how great they sound. Niki's voice is from the heavens. It's so good. And Donna, I mean, to me, they're so recognizable in my brain. I'm sure in your brain too. When you hear their voices, it's like it just snapped in your head. And
Guillermo was crying at one moment. I think when the opening notes of Rain started, I turned around and he had a couple, like a hanky.
I was kind of holding back tears at one point, so you're not 100% wrong.
Not me. I was openly weeping through second. No, there was a time when they were doing "You're All I Need to Get By," and they're talking about how deep their friendship is, and it really resonated with me. It's you're a lifelong best friend, and also when their voices join together, it takes you to another world. So
I have no friends.
Oh, stop it. That's a lie.
You mean you have no friends to sing with?
Exactly. Well, that could change. There's still time. You're a young man, like who knows? It could be the second phase of your career, But yeah, it was really great to sort of be there and see that. And I do hope that they, continue on with little fan events like that because it would be great.
I think they will. I think they feel the love and they appreciate it. And we've all wanted an experience like this with them, so I think they will.
And the house was packed.
Yeah,
it was packed.
Yeah, good for them. So Guillermo,
Yes.
It's all about you now.
it's all about you. Yes,
Finally.
turning the attention to our special guest. Tell us, what was your very first touch with the Queen of Pop, Madonna?
Well, it was the first concert I went to. Actually, I was invited to go to the Blonde Ambition concert.
And had you heard her though? Like
I had heard her and I'd seen her videos, and I thought she was kind of intimidating when I first saw her, just in her videos and stuff. And I really wasn't that into her. I was like, it was the early '80s, and I was like, who is this woman? She's so bold and like sexual, and it kind of scared me. But which is weird, right? But and then I went to the Blonde Ambition concert at Nassau Coliseum.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Veterans.
yeah. Yes. And I remember specifically watching her do Like a Virgin and thinking, I have never seen anything. And everyone in the space, you could feel the energy of everyone being like, we have never seen anything like this before in our lives. And it was electric and emotional. It was crazy. It was so amazing. And I just fell in love with her from that point on.
Were your seats good for Blonde Ambition?
No, they were pretty high up, but it didn't matter.
No.
I still loved it. And
What merch did you buy?
I bought the one white T-shirt where it's just of her face and her hair is covering one eye.
Yes.
And the writing is in orange.
From the Express Yourself video.
Yes,
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, yeah. Actually, there was those two. It was the close-up face one, right, of her.
Yes, that one.
Because I have the one of her turning her head over the shoulder, where everyone, like, when I was wearing it at 16, people thought she was fully naked on it.
Yes,
like, so people would just be
yes.
staring, thinking,
Yeah.
but I'm like, no, you can't see her breasts. It's her back. But
Like also in the tour book, there's that same image. My younger brother and his dumb friends would sneak it out of my room and open it up so they could look at side boob and God knows.
You know what they were doing.
oh, yeah. Was it sticky and sweet after they returned
it
it?
was.
Ew. Talking about bleaching shit. Yeah, I hope that's been fumigated.
Anyway, so your life changed after seeing Madonna at the Blonde Ambition tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us. So, like, I know that you've had umpteenth interactions with Madonna since then, right? I mean, you've sort of gone to every. I think you said on Ellen, you've seen every show since Blonde Ambition.
Blonde Ambition, yeah.
What was like? out of all of those shows, what was like your highlight shows? Did you have like moments where like you'd gone up and you were like super close and you touched her and she sweated on you?
Yeah, well, I was born and raised in New York City in Washington Heights, and in the 90s I used to work for a photo stock agency for the youngins that are listening to the show, where back in the day we had session photographers that would shoot photo shoots or do paparazzi work, and I was in charge of filing all the pictures, all the slides or the actual 8x10s, and everyone at my job knew that I was a huge Madonna fan. And one of the photographers, I remember his name is Steve Eichner, was going to go shoot the girly show, and he said, Guillermo, I'm going to bring you and you're going to be my camera assistant.
No way.
And he brought me to the show, put a camera around my neck. And back in the day, I think that she still does it, photographers, they would let them go in the pit to shoot her for the first 3 songs. They couldn't shoot the opening song, so I didn't see Erotica. But after Erotica, then for 3 songs, I got to be in the pit.
But those are the best songs
I was
of
going
the
to say,
show.
like, those songs are amazing. Fever.
Yes.
Vogue.
And Rain.
And yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's a trio of fucking great songs.
But I remember getting to Madison Square Garden and being there with the actual photographer and like maybe 15 other photographers and Liz Rosenberg, right? Liz Rosenberg was there and was looking at all of us and giving us all our passes, and she handed me one, and I was like, oh my God. And they walked us to the pit, and Madonna came out, and I was the only person in the pit yelling, Madonna! Madonna! And everybody was kind of looking at me like, what the hell is this photographer freaking out about? But I had an actual camera, like I said, and I had to act like I was taking pictures, so I took a bunch of pictures, and one of them came out really good. It's a close-up of her face, the side of her face, and I have it in my house. It's an amazing shot. But that was like the sort of most special experience, at least in the beginning, that I had with Madonna.
So then after you were done taking pictures, did you stay in the pit?
No, they walked us back out. So I didn't get to see the rest of the girly show live.
You just had to leave.
They just walked us out of the venue.
You'd think that they'd like let you stay off to the side or something.
No. But still, it was so worth it.
That's an amazing...
Yeah, but that was like for reals, Close Encounter of the Ciccone kind.
Yeah.
Touche, Tony. How long have you been holding on to that one?
It just came out.
This is what, episode 16 now?
Just came out.
Yeah.
But then we're working at this photo stock agency. The photographers were always getting leads that she was going to be in a certain place. Or I remember she went to a Keith Haring benefit. It was at a bank, a very small event, and Keith's mother was there, and I think one of his siblings was there. And the photographer was like, hey, Madonna's going to be here. Come with me. And I went with him. And that's sort of the second time that I saw her up close. And she just walked in, and the photographer swarmed her, and she put her face in her hands and just kept her face in her hands for like a minute, and then went and kissed Keith Haring's mother and talked to her for a second and then left. But
Wow.
Nice. And so after Girly Show, obviously Drowned World Tour, what were some of like the better shows that did you have a favorite tour of hers maybe?
Yeah, I really love the Reinvention tour. I got tickets to that tour, and the seats weren't great, but there was something that had happened. Madonna was sick for the first show or two, and they had to cancel a show. So something happened that not a lot of folks showed up to the front in the show that I was at. So one of Madonna's people went up to the bleachers and was like, who's a true Madonna fan? And I was like, me. And she handed me and my boyfriend at the time front row seats. So I got to see the whole Reinvention tour.
Oh my God.
In the front
so
row.
Not the fan pits that were on the stage,
no.
but just the literal front row.
The literal front row.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had a bird's eye view of Nobody Knows Me.
I sure did.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And were you taking pictures at that show or no?
Not at all.
No.
I didn't even have a camera. No.
Yeah.
I want to experience shit, beyond my cell phone. Like, screw that. Like, the memory is embedded in my brain. I don't want to be distracted by a phone or something else. Anyway.
Yeah. What was your highlight of Reinvention Tour? Do you have like a favorite number, or for any show for that matter? Like, are there numbers that you're like, I love this one the most, or that?
Who do you think you're talking to? I have so many. Well, for Reinvention, oddly enough, it's not one that a lot of people talk about, but Frozen, which is just her standing there simply. The lighting is amazing, and it was just her singing Frozen, and I loved it so much. And of course, when she opens the show, even before she comes out, the whole Beast Within intro.
It was heavy. I mean, that was just like, it was such a and the film that she's using.
All that gossip about God. Yeah. Remember she says that.
I was just happy that the Beast Within made another appearance in my life,
Yes, which was such a highlight from a girly show. When, the two dancers, who was it? Carlton and I forget his name. Shit. And I follow him on Instagram.
Was it Luca Tomasini?
Oh, it was Luca.
Yeah.
It was Luca.
My God, Tony, how do you do it?
Yes, Luca
Tony
Tomasini.
just retains such information.
Yeah.
It's he's an elephant.
Is that what I am? But yeah, I mean, that was an amazing number because it was Madonna addressing Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yeah, it sure was.
So then, let's see. Confessions, right? We have. Was there a favorite? Where were you for the Confessions tour?
I had
front row again.
I went twice, and for the second time I went, I had front row. I was like
Wow.
on the side of the runway,
Right?
And it's the
right.
first time I thought she is tiny. Like she was tiny. I don't know at what point of the tour that was, but she was really. She had lost a lot of weight. I mean, she looked amazing,
She's
but of course,
fit.
you're performing. For how many months? She looked
And plus,
snatched.
she broke that arm. I feel like,
Yes.
she lost a lot of weight when she broke her arm.
Yeah. But she looked amazing. And so I went twice. And Future Lovers, the opening is one of my favorites. And we were just talking about, before we started the podcast, that these guys were telling me that she doesn't really come out of the disco ball. And I was like, oh. I really thought she was in that freaking disco ball the
we
whole time.
actually
Like,
burst. We
my
told Guillermo that Santa Claus isn't real today.
Oh, man.
Up until now, he literally thought she descended from the disco globe, from the ceiling. And unfortunately, if you've not heard us say this before, she does not come down from the ceiling. She goes up from the bottom, through the catwalk floor.
I'm such a dumbass.
But
I should have known that. It's Madonna.
But
She's
just
not
so
gonna
you
get
know,
up in that
she
thing.
does come down for real in the cage in Rebel Heart Tour. That actually is her. It's not like a little Madonna hologram in the cage. Guillermo.
When she comes. She's on the disco ball and girly show too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting on the
exactly.
disco ball.
Was there a secure wire on her? I don't.
It didn't seem like there was. I always worried about her coming down. Like, was there any show with like a technical difficulty where she
where she's like
slipped off?
holding on for dear life as the disco ball.
Man. She rehearsed that shit a million times. There's no way she was going to be.
Yeah, well, it was like when I saw her on Confessions, and I've always marveled at I'm like when she was on Like a Virgin on that up in the air on doing acrobats on a pole on a saddle. I'm like, how is she not falling off this thing? But same thing, like the disco ball. I'm like, I was nervous because I did not see a safety wire. And I was like, that's pretty brazen.
For Britney, they'll strap that bitch in. They're like, this one is going to fall over. They
okay.
She's got straps and handles on her wrist.
But, you guys know that Madam X is an aerialist.
Right. But, okay, speaking of Britney, I was going to bring this up a little later. For all of you who don't know, Guillermo Diaz was actually in a Britney Spears video. He was in the I Wanna Go video. And Guillermo, first I wanna say, how the hell have you not been in a Madonna video? You've been in a Britney video and not in a Madonna video?
Well, and I also was in a Beyonce video.
Oh, I think I did read that.
Which one?
Yeah. It's called On the Run. And it was like a little movie, and she actually made it part of her tour. So I was on that whole tour.
When her and Jay-Z went on tour.
Yes, and it was me and Sean Penn, which is a 60 thing. Jake Gyllenhaal and
I love
Don
Jake.
Cheadle.
I love Jake.
Yeah, but the Britney thing, it was the director was a fan of weeds. I did a show called Weeds, and he was a fan of that. And
Mary Louise Parker.
Yes, Mary Louise Parker.
I had drinks with Mary Louise Parker back in the day.
Did you?
She did a special talk at the acting school that I used to manage.
Oh, no way.
And all the students were like, let's go out with Mary Louise. And I'm like, I will chaperone her to make sure none of them get out of control. And like, they were like fawning over her. It was like, I was like, please don't touch her.
I bet she hated that.
She was actually having a good time. I was like, Mary Louise, are you okay? Do you want to leave? And she's just like, no, this is fine. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
I had a hard time separating her from her Weeds character and that clear plastic iced coffee cup.
Yes, with a straw.
That being said, I missed that show a lot.
But that director, the director of the I Want to Go video, was a fan of Weeds and of a movie I did called Half Baked. And so I was just supposed to be in the very beginning of the video when Brittany kind of references a scene that I did in the movie when I say F you. Can you curse on this podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been cursing nonstop.
Fuck you, that whole thing. And then she points to me and I stand up. And anyway, but the night before, they called and said the guy that was supposed to be the lead in the video dropped out. Will you be that guy? And so I was like, it just sort of all happened very unexpectedly. And next thing I know, I'm in this car pouring milk over myself.
Oh my God, that scene is
with
brilliant.
Brittany looking at me. Yeah, it was amazing.
She looked at you like you were crazy.
Yeah, because I was.
It was was you supposed to pour the milk? That was planned,
Oh,
right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Well, because you had
you never know,
you had told me a little part that I didn't know that was unplanned when you were in Party Girl. There's that infamous scene after Mary reorganizes all of Leo's records by the Dewey Decimal System, and Leo has to get to the club on time, and he's like, what the fuck? All these records are out of order. And she's like, Leo, these are organized by the Dewey Decimal System. And she's like, let's just use the system. And it's like, it doesn't work out. It's just, it's high hilarity. And so she's helping you pull records. He's like, okay, what records do you need? And you just start listing out all these different records. And one of them is Up Down Sweet by Madonna. And I remember when I heard that in Party Girl, I was like, oh my God, Madonna. They were mentioned. I'm like, Up Down Sweet was such an underground track that it wasn't like they were saying Express Yourself by Madonna, you know? And I was like, and you told me that you improvised that line.
I did. That was all my idea, and they kept it, which I was super happy about. Bill Coleman was the music supervisor, and he was all down for it. It was a really popular track that was playing in the clubs. So I threw that shit in there. I was like, and also I think I mentioned to you at Donna and Niki's show that during my Party Girl audition process, the casting director at one point called my agents and said, you have to tell Guillermo to stop talking about Madonna during the audition. And I remember my agents calling me and telling me, and I was like,
what were you saying?
Fuck. I don't know. I don't even remember. I think I would just always bring her up or goof or make a joke and be like, and mention her, or I don't know. But then when I told the director of Party Girl, she was like, we didn't care. We loved it. And anyway.
So how old were you when you did Party Girl?
I was 14. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, I was going to say, you were so young in that movie.
I was early 20s, 24 maybe,
but even Parker Posey, was she big when she got cast that movie?
No, she had done a Hal Hartley movie, and she had done... what's that stoner movie? Dazed and Confused.
Right. All right, you little freshman bitches.
Yes. And Doom Generation. I think she had done Doom Generation. But she was when I at one point I auditioned with her after I got, 3 casting sessions in. They had me read with Parker, and I just remember thinking, this girl is special. She's got that thing. She's going to be huge.
I mean, she was in 150 independent movies within 2 years or something.
Yeah.
It was every movie you'd go see, if it was an independent film, she was there. It was kind of crazy.
Thank God.
Yes.
Well, and funnily enough, I had come into town to see the Drowned World Tour at Madison Square Garden with a friend who bought me tickets because I saw the opening in Philadelphia, came up for the Drowned World Tour, and because I was living in Philadelphia at the time, and I was just wandering around Chelsea waiting for my friend to get off of work, and Parker Posey came out of a deli, and I was like, oh my God. And I was walking alongside of her to try to be like, I love you, or this, that, I'm like, excuse me. And she had her headset on, and she was totally not, she was just ignoring me. And I'm just I was so heartbroken because I was it's Party Girl. She's on the street. And I just wanted to say hello to her. And she was just safety concerns. You know,
Of
she this
course.
crazy person was.
Yeah.
Don't you know that's why famous people live in New York, so no one will bother them?
I try not to bother celebrities, especially if they're with their kids, because you know, like
Right.
you don't want to like interrupt a family moment and have them get on the defensive or whatnot. You know,
Right,
I don't want to
right,
get hit,
right,
attacked.
right.
You know,
I used to also, fun about stalking celebrities or following them or whatever. I used to
admiring them.
admiring them. That's a better word.
Let's just say keeping an eye on them.
Yes, I like that, Tony. Perfect. I used to go and stand across the street from her New York City apartment, along with
Madonna.
like 50 other people. Madonna's.
Girl,
yeah.
I did that too. I used
You
to go to
did
the
it too?
wine, the street over, just so I could walk out the other door and just
No
be right in front of
way.
her apartment.
And a few times she came out. I remember one of the times was she was going to the Versace funeral and Ingrid was with her.
Wow.
And there were all these fans, but we were all super respectful. We were all just standing there watching her, and she stood there and looked at us for a second, probably thinking, look at all these fucking losers. Go get a life. But you know, inside she's like, that's right. I'm
Thank
fucking
God.
Madonna.
Thank God they're
you
still
love
here.
me. Yes.
And I recall that she looked fabulous that day.
Yes, she had on like a black suit and she had long hair, really long hair. Anyway, and another time I went to go stand near the building. She was walking down the street and I didn't recognize her until I got like face to face with her, and she kind of looked at me and she was blowing her nose, and then she kind of looked at me and she had track pants on and sort of slides like really big sunglasses, and I was like, oh my God, that was Madonna. But
She's like, I recognize you. You were
Yeah.
you were in front row at the
You're that
reinvention
guy
tour,
from
weren't
Party
you?
Girl.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually never had any run-ins with Madonna on the street, but eerily enough, I've had 3 face-to-face encounters with 3 men in her life.
Really?
So I used to see Carlos Leon all the time. You know,
I saw him biking in the
in
city.
East Village. You know, so I was like, oh, this guy again. And then when I was working,
You mean
for-
Madonna's daughter's daddy?
Yeah.
Daughter's
Baby's
daddy,
father,
baby
yeah.
daddy.
Yeah, the baby daddy.
So that made me feel really good because I'm like, I'm in the same town that Madonna's baby's father lives, and I could see him. So then years later, I was working for the New York Film Festival, and I found myself face to face with Sean Penn, and very nice guy, even though I wanted to hit him in the face. But,
Really?
well,
With what?
Tony's violent.
I just wanted to punch him and be like, that weekend in Malibu where the cops got called.
He's like, I saw the Oh Father video. I know what you did.
And then another time, and this was maybe a couple of years, about a year before a couple of years after Reinvention, mind you. I was walking up Columbus Avenue. I was in the 70s, and I see a man in a suit, and he turns to stop and look at his phone, and I was like, oh shit, it's Guy Ritchie. He must be in the neighborhood to pick up his kid or something.
Hello, Rocco.
Shit.
I
Hello,
followed him for
Rocco.
about 3 blocks, and then I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Guillermo, have you been to her house on the Upper East Side?
I haven't. No, I haven't done that.
Well,
Maybe you should take me.
Maybe we should go after this.
Yeah.
Before the pop-up shop, you need to.
Do people go in?
Oh my
and-
God, I've been like 3 times.
Are you serious?
You just stand outside.
Are there people there a lot?
I have every time I've gone.
Where is it, like, on-
It's like
in-
81st,
yeah.
82nd between Park and Lexington or something like that. Literally every time I've walked by, because like my friend Jennifer has come up and visited, and I'm like, we have to go see Madonna's house. And every time we go, there are other Madonna fans there.
Really?
Not like they're just walking
Yeah,
by,
they're
like
just-
trying to see her.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
The last time we had one of our listeners from Detroit, actually, Madonna's hometown, and he had come in to visit and was like, I was like, we have to go to Madonna's house. So we did, and we had just gotten there, and he was like, some guy was like, you just missed her. And I'm
Oh,
like, what? And he's like, yeah, she just got in the car and they drove away. And I'm like, yeah, it was fine. And he had like a camera and was taking pictures, and it's hysterical.
God.
Now, were the no parking signs restored? Because, she famously had them removed. And she got sued by the city. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. We were just looking at the house. It's a compound though,
It's
like
huge,
it's
right?
2 brownstones. But I remember the first time I ever stumbled by it by mistake. I was walking by and there's this huge wrought iron fence that's out front of it that, I'm 6'2". It's taller than me. It's gotta be like a 7 foot tall fence. And I was like, who the hell has this huge fence on the Upper East Side? I'm like, why would you have this blocking the house and everything? And I'm like, whose house is this? All of a sudden it slapped me in the face. I'm like, oh, it's Madonna. Of course it is.
my God.
I'm like, how did I randomly walk down Madonna's
Yes.
block and not know?
And all judgy.
Yeah.
Who the hell lives in this big old...
Yeah, I'm like,
It's-
Once
You're
you find out it's
queen,
hers,
yeah.
you're like, oh.
yeah, then I'm like,
Oh, yeah. That
right,
makes sense,
that makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah. But yeah, we should go. It'd
Yes.
be fine. I'll take a picture of you in front of
Yes.
it. But so, yes, well, where did we leave off
Well,
with
and-
Guillermo's experience of
We were
Madonna?
talking about tours
And
we-
run-ins.
We did Confession. So what about Sticky and Sweet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sticky and Sweet. Yeah, I went to see Sticky and Sweet at Dodger Stadium. And it was this show where there was something wrong with one of either the lights, a set piece wasn't working. So the show started really late. But yeah, I think J-Lo was at the show that I went to. But yeah.
Did you see her?
I didn't know. There was, you could just, the rumor and everybody was talking about that J-Lo was there, but I didn't get to see her.
She looks, FYI, apparently her new movie is Hustlers, right? That's the name of it. Apparently it's like amazing.
Right. But so is Madonna.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So is Body of Evidence. So what's your point?
She's hard to resist.
Yes. We're talking about Madonna, not that other girl.
We're all animals, Frank.
Just before we go back to Madonna, you know that Jennifer Lopez was asked to audition for Evita.
No.
Get the
And
fuck out of here.
If anyone has that tape, send it our way.
Holy shit.
No, that would never have worked.
Selena, then Evita?
Yeah,
Give me
no,
a
thank you.
break.
No.
Anyway.
Sticky and
So
sticky
back
and
to
sweet.
Madonna.
Sticky and sweet. You're idolizing Madonna with the revealed crotch when she turns around on Candy Shop.
Yeah, and one of my favorite Vogue performances is the one from Sticky and Sweet.
Yes.
It's a
Oh,
I see.
so
I
good.
didn't like. I had sort of in my head when I walked into the whole hard candy era. I was not on board. There was something.
Neither was I.
There was
Neither
something
was I.
about the sound of like Timbaland's production. It was.
I
just.
agree.
It didn't sound like a Madonna album. It was the first time it didn't sound like a Madonna album. Looking back now, I mean, Miles Away.
Incredible.
Incredible. Give it to me.
The devil wouldn't recognize
Yes.
Yes, it's so good, and I love
Spanish lesson,
I
right?
love, yeah.
Is that-
Actually,
is
you
that
know
what
what?
it's
I did
called?
not like Spanish lesson
Really?
at first, and now I actually listen back
it.
and I'm like, oh no, this is good. I like
Yeah,
it.
the first time I heard it as a Latin person, I was offended.
As a Latino.
And I felt trivialized. But now it's part of my repertoire.
What did you think? Did you think it was like cultural appropriation or something?
Yeah, I was like, didn't we do this already?
Wasn't this La Isla Bonita?
Right.
Going
Was,
bananas.
Wasn't this
And
Spanish
Spanishized,
eyes?
yeah.
Lo que siente la mujer.
Yeah.
She likes to bring stuff back and revisit that, even though she's
Yeah.
right. You said she's not Spanish. I've always thought she was half
No,
Spanish.
no.
She
She just wishes.
She likes Spanish men.
She does. Yeah, and her
I mean-
daughter is half Cuban.
So she's Latin by injection.
And gorgeous. Did you
And
see her at the front
gorgeous.
row at Fashion Week this week? Oh
yeah.
my God. She got literally, I don't know how the genetic code worked where she got the best genetics of her mother and the best genetics of her father. Like seriously, the most
100%.
so gorgeous.
Yeah. And I love that she's so like uninterested.
Yeah. Oh,
She
You know what
doesn't
I
even-
mean?
She doesn't even give a shit. Front
I have-
row at Fashion
yeah.
Week and she could be bothered.
Yeah, she does these minor fashion campaigns probably to pay for her school and have her own money, and then she just keeps it moving. And I love that about her.
Yeah, I have a friend that knows her and someone that works with her, and she was like, she's an awesome person, but do not mention her mother at all, or she will ice you. Like she does not want to talk about
Yeah,
them
I mean,
at
I don't
all,
blame it.
which I get.
Yeah.
I get it.
She
right?
doesn't want. I mean,
come on.
if you had the most famous mother in the world, I wouldn't want that either.
No.
You know? It's like,
Yeah.
oh well. But yeah. So Sticky and Sweet. Did you were front row again, Guillermo?
No, I was in the back. But one of my favorite performances, of course, Vogue, but also Devil Wouldn't Recognize You.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I love that, where the two Asian dancers are sort of walking at the same time. Their little geisha walk. Oh, it's just so good. Yeah. It wasn't my favorite tour, my favorite album either, but I have moments from the show and songs from the album that I absolutely, love.
Well, I think with that tour, it's like when you look at, like, if you're watching a movie and you're not really feeling the story or something, that's when I sort of like the film major in me sort of ticks in. I'm like, okay, hundreds of people worked on this. If I don't like the plot, let me watch the set design. Let me watch the cinematography. So I try to find, like, it's the same thing with Sticky and Sweet. I wasn't 100% on board with the set list, but I was like, going back, I can look and say, you know what, Vogue was great. The staging was great. The costume here was good.
Yes,
Even if I
yeah.
didn't like, like Human Nature or what was the car for Beat Goes On, right? I think it was. Like stuff like
Heartbeat. I love Heartbeat.
Heartbeat was great. Yeah.
Did you guys ever? I always think about the moment there's a moment in the Sticky and Sweet concert where she asks a fan tell her a song that they want her to sing.
Yes, I love that.
I always think, why the fuck do people always say like a virgin, like a prayer,
I know. Like physical attraction.
Yes, or like bad girl, or
Yes.
nothing really matters, or something that's obscure. She'd probably be like, I don't remember those fucking words. But,
she'd be like, you're gonna have to help me with that.
Yeah, no, I told the story in the last episode. I went to see that show in Atlantic City, and there were these Jersey girls behind, Jersey women behind me, because they were older, and they're like, yeah, I don't know her new music, but if she starts playing that new stuff and none of her old stuff, we're out of here. And they left.
No.
Yeah, they left. I mean, they
See
missed.
ya.
They missed
Bye,
the
bitch.
Avita,
Fuck out of here.
Hallelujah Tete, or whatever. They missed the best parts, But yeah, I feel like there is that, especially in the East Coast, there's that, hard, dyed-in-the-wool fan that just does not want to accept anything past like a prayer.
I know, and I don't get
that happened at Rebel Heart. The second New York show I saw, I was like first level, and so there was a couple of women behind me, and they were like, "When is she gonna sing like a prayer?" And I turn around, I'm like, "Sorry, ladies, she doesn't sing that on the show." And they were like, "What?" I'm like, get on board." It's like, don't they research these things before?
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to go to a concert for anybody, I'd want to know what they were singing. And if they had a new album out, I would listen to it.
And also, it's Madonna. It's not about the songs necessarily. It's a whole experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. People are weird.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. It's like, I don't care what she does, but I'm
It's a
in the palm of her
show.
hand for 2 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what, like the Rebel Heart tour, the first show at New York I went to, I was along the catwalk and the guys behind me were we're leaning on the catwalk, and the one guy was so drunk he could barely stand up. I'm like, bitch, you paid how much money for these tickets, and now you're not going to remember a goddamn
drunk
thing.
as hell.
Like seriously, he was so drunk. His friend was trying to prop him up, and I'm like, you better get some
On that
coffee.
catwalk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised her security didn't
I kept watching what was going to happen with him, and then Madonna came out, and I just forgot. I'm like, if he was falling asleep, I don't know.
Hey, Stefan, remember that moment in the Rebel Heart tour when you get to be Madonna's bitch and you were up on stage with her?
Oh yeah,
What?
didn't that
Remember
happen in
that?
Philadelphia?
What? Oh, you know what? It's such a little, that little time, right?
Oh my God.
Yes, I think actually you had complimented me on Twitter. I believe you.
I think that's
went
when I
back.
first,
Actually,
yeah.
I Googled Guillermo Diaz Madonna just to see what touch points you had with Madonna. And the Twitter picture of me with Madonna where you respond, "You were great."
No way.
Pops up. I was like, this is weird.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so when you went to, who did you see as the unapologetic bitch when you were?
It was a random woman that was dressed in that glittery fringe thing that she wears.
Oh, right.
The silver
It wasn't
fringes.
Ariana Grande?
No.
Because I know, didn't Ariana
she
Grande
did
dress as...
Yeah, she showed up in the same dress.
She did that too, but in the tour I saw, it was just a random woman, and she looked amazing. Like you could see why they chose her. The costume was so good, and that woman was really great. Yeah, I was just a random person, and I remember I went to that show. I was invited by Niki Richards, who's Madonna's backup singer, who is my friend, and she gave us a whole backstage tour.
Oh,
we got to
fun.
meet Rocco.
Nice. Was he a little kid?
Backstage? No,
Rebel
he
Heart?
was,
No, he's still, he's older.
He was older. He was a teen, I think 18, 19 maybe, something like that. Maybe a little younger.
Now, this isn't her only tour. I think she's been in a couple of tours, 2 or 3.
Yeah. Niki's been from Confessions on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. It was really, really fun.
Wait, but you don't get to see Madonna then?
No, of course
What?
not. No.
I would figure you'd like try and find a way to get into the prayer circle or something.
Yeah. No, we actually had mezzanine seats, and Madonna's tour manager came up to me and she said, "Are you happy with your seats?" And I was like, "I mean, I'd love to be closer." And she handed me 2 front row seats.
My God,
But
you
they
just
weren't-
luck out.
They weren't at the front of the Rebel Heart point.
Oh, it was the front.
It was the front,
when-
which
right,
she's
so-
hardly ever there. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
Well, that's what happened when I got the Rebel Heart tickets from my friend Jennifer and I in Philadelphia. I guess in order to like help scalpers not get tickets, they wouldn't tell you where your seats were going to be. You were just given a ticket range. So it would be like, okay, you're going to be somewhere between row 3 and row 17. And I'm like, okay, well, that's random and weird.
Right.
So we did not know where we were going to be until we showed up. But I remember the entire time, because in New York, I was like row 16, which was right where the cross section of the catwalk was, which was perfect because you could see her on the front stage when she was on the cross section, and then you would just turn around and she was only a little ways away for the heart. And when I found out I was row 4 in Philadelphia, Jennifer, because she didn't know, she hadn't seen the show, was excited. She's like, oh my God, row 4. And I'm like, fuck. Because I knew she was going to be behind us half the show.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was rectified because, as you mentioned, I did get to dance on stage with her. So that was okay. I was fine.
Yeah.
But
so this was all leading up. You know, you had a lot of close encounters, but no actual meetings. So tell us about when you finally did get to meet.
oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had so many encounters with Madonna family members or people that worked with her
Marty?
adjacent. I never met Marty. I met Christopher. In New York years ago, again in the 90s. And I just bumped into him on the street and I went up to him and I was like, I love your work. You're a great set designer. I didn't talk about Madonna at all. And he was like, oh, he was so sweet. And he gave me his autograph.
Yeah, because if you had, he would put you in that book.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't have minded at all. Believe you me.
We all bought it. Admit it, people.
Yes.
You bought it.
Oh my God. I bought it and read it. I'm going to read it again. So getting back to when I actually met Madonna, I was on a show called Scandal and Ellen's wife, Portia de Rossi, was on the show as well. And I've done the Ellen show a few times. She had me on once and she had me show my Madonna tattoo. We talked all about it. She spoke about how she's friends with Madonna. You know, it's kind of the running joke there that she knows how much I am obsessed with Madonna. And then one day on set, Portia came up to me and said, hey, Ellen's having Madonna on soon and she's going to make you the guest DJ.
What?
Because she wants you to meet her. She knows how much you love her. And I was like, what? And then cut to, a month later, whenever it was.
Cut to you flat on your back.
Cut to me, still talking. I love that we all know these references.
God.
We don't even have to be like, what?
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so many
still
people are
talking.
constantly saying, "Thank God for this podcast," because I don't have anybody to talk to Madonna about.
That we can
And it's
say
like,
these things too, yeah.
Because I do it all the time. Like random Madonna quotes just pop
Me
into my.
too.
Like, I know how you feel. You don't know if you want to hit me or kiss me. I get
Do
a lot
something
of that.
else. Do my eyebrows.
Exactly. It's like, and people are just like, Stefan, what the hell are you talking about?
Totally, I love it. But anyway, so I got a call finally, and they were like, "Okay, Ellen wants you to come on and be the guest DJ." But I was that I was on set. I was shooting. It was during our season, like the middle of the season of Scandal, and I had to ask production for permission. And even production, like the higher up Shonda Rhimes knows how much I love Madonna, and they let me out. I was shooting,
that's nice.
and they were like,
let him out
"Okay,
of Shondaland, people.
yes, they sure did. They let me out. I changed. I went to shoot the Ellen show. And there was a driver there from Scandal that was like, you got to do the show and we got to get you right back to set. And I was like, yeah, okay. And of course, I get there and Ellen was like, hey, you're not leaving afterwards, right? Because I want to properly introduce you to Madonna. And I was like, oh my God. And anyway, so I...
You're like, Chandra, sorry, I'm going to be a little late.
Shonda.
I
know a lot of people say Chandra.
I always think it is
yeah.
Chandra. I think I have like, what is it? Not attention deficit disorder. I definitely have attention deficit disorder. Dyslexia. Yeah, I definitely. I insert an R in her name for some reason.
A lot of people do
I don't
that,
know.
though. Yeah.
Okay, I'm on pins and needles. Keep going.
So I'm there. Ellen, the show starts. Oh, first I get to the stages, and Ellen comes into my dressing room. Like I said, I've done the show a few times, so Ellen sort of knows me and stuff. And she's like, hey, do you want to watch Madonna rehearse with me? And I was like, I don't think I ever told you guys.
No, you didn't.
So she's like, come downstairs. And
because she was performing Living for Love on that, right?
She was performing Living for Love, yeah. So she was going to rehearse, and Ellen was like, come with me. And we get there, we sit in the audience in like the fourth row, me, Ellen, and Ellen's mom.
Oh my God.
It's just us in the audience.
And the crew, or no?
No crew, no cameras.
Wow.
It was just Madonna running the song with her, with her dancers and with her people. So I got to see her perform it or rehearse it twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It
was the most amazing
That's
experience.
amazing.
Yeah. And I remember at one point her shoe was unlaced and she was like, it's unlaced. Like, can you just... I mean, she was very sweet about it, but somebody bent down and like.
Oh, I thought she was
laced up her
asking
shoe.
you. I thought
no,
you was
no,
like,
please.
she just
I
walks
would
over
have
to you
done it
like-
in a second. Yeah.
I
Listen.
love it when people tie my shoes.
Totally. So then after we see her rehearse, I go back up to the dressing room, and then the show starts. I come out, and me and Ellen sort of banter back and forth about Madonna and if I'm excited, blah blah. And then finally Madonna comes out, and I think in the very sort of beginning, Ellen mentions to Madonna, Guillermo is a big fan, and Madonna turns around and starts talking to me, and she says, I have a thing for DJs. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, we go back and forth. And long story short, eventually Ellen has me bring up a basket of University of Michigan stuff to give to Madonna.
Right.
Because she was like, I want you to have that moment on camera with Madonna. And I run up there and I bring up the basket, and Madonna goes to hug me. But first I step back and I show her my tattoo of her. And I say, look, I have you on my arm. And she just goes, oh, and then she kisses me and hugs me really tight. Like it was the most electric. I mean, Stefan, right? That experience is like no other. She's like a light.
Yeah.
It's really hard to describe.
It's the energy that she gives. I don't know. She must have a bunch of it bottled up.
Yes.
And just like she's able to release it whenever she wants.
She's got it in cases, just like Kabbalah water.
It's like her rose mist spray from the MDNA collection.
and
and just like
red strings that she ties on her wrist. She's just got like boxes of it. But yeah, and then she hugs me and kisses me, and then I get down on my knees and I bow down to her.
Sweet.
And she kind of looks at me like, yeah, that's what you should be doing. And then I go back to my, DJ station and that's it. And then of course the show ends and Ellen's like, hey, stick around. And I'm sort of backstage, but I see the driver out of the corner of my eye being like, let's go, motioning me like, come here. We got to go. We have to go because they're shooting. I'm in the middle of shooting.
Holding up an entire ABC
and I was
production.
like, ugh. And then I go up to him and I say, hey, man, I'm supposed to meet her. Like, and he's like, go ahead, go. And he was cool. He was like, I'll say you're still taping the show.
Right.
And he lets me. But then Madonna and Ellen start shooting this little skit.
Oh, right.
And I see that it's just taking longer and longer and longer. And finally, I had to go. And I didn't get to, but I had that moment on stage with her, so I was.
Oh, I was wondering if you had gotten a picture or you got to meet her afterwards, because I was like, I didn't see anything on like your profile or. Like,
I was supposed to, but I didn't. But you know what? I'm still super grateful for the experience.
Hells yeah!
And
And you never know. I mean,
Scandal.
is she going on Ellen this year?
I know. I don't know if Ellen will bring me on again.
You guys, I'm
wish she
actually
would.
really curious though. Is she going to be doing any press prior to opening of the show or even during the show? I mean, so far there has been no indication. She's been doing her own free press through her Instagram, but I want to see her talk to somebody.
Yeah, I know. It'd be weird. Well, she should come on the podcast first of all.
Yeah, hello,
Guy Theory.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen.
Or the live with Kelly and who's the person out? Ryan.
No, Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Seacrest?
She's been on that show a couple of times.
Yeah, and Kelly's a huge fan.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
Guillermo, fun fact, so where she was rehearsing before she ended up at the theater, it was literally like 10 minutes away.
Yeah, literally.
No
it's like
way.
a stone's throw from where we are right now in Brooklyn.
Did you guys ever go and like wait outside?
I walked by. There was nothing. You couldn't
There
see
was
anything.
nothing.
I mean, I walked past it on my way to other places.
Right.
I made sure I had to go that way.
The Gaiety in Brooklyn.
The Gaiety now has a location in downtown Brooklyn.
So are you excited about Madam X? Do you have like a favorite song on Madam X?
I do. I love Batuka. Batuka.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. And I love that video. Something about it just like really gets me. I love Dark Ballet. I'm hoping that Mickey Blanco is going to make an appearance in one of the shows.
That would be fun.
That would be
maybe.
great. I'd
Yeah.
love to see him do that ballet dance.
Yes. Mickey Blanco, for those people that don't know, is a wonderful performance. I consider him like a performance artist, but he's a singer. I don't know what his
He's
pronoun
an
is.
activist.
Yeah, but if I'm using the wrong pronoun, I apologize. But Mickey Blanco is amazing, and Mickey plays the Joan of Arc character in the Dark Ballet video.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's. I was a little disappointed she wasn't in more of it, but he totally makes up for the fact that she's not in it.
100%, so good. And then at one point, Mickey's wearing like a corset that resembles sort of Madonna's, right? Like Blonde Ambition, sort of gold corset, and just those little subtle like interjects that they put in the video that
Yeah.
reference Madonna. It was just wonderful, yeah.
Okay, so before we do a bit of a lightning round with you, Guillermo, I did just, because you're here and because I was obsessed with Party Girl when it was out, I did just have, so if you haven't seen Party Girl, you should totally watch it. It's an independent film.
It's actually streaming now.
From 1995. It's an amazing film. It has a fantastic soundtrack. It's such a little time capsule of like clubbing and New York back at that time when it's like when cell phones weren't around and the internet really wasn't around. It was such a simpler time.
Liev Schreiber.
Right, Liev Schreiber. I mean, there's the cast in that is fantastic. And they did shoot that in New York.
We shot it all in New York City and Brooklyn as well.
Okay, because I was wondering if they were shooting that like in Jersey City or something because New York, but it actually, because look, New York looks so different.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, there's
different.
there's a gassiteria down the street in that falafel scene.
Is there?
And I'm like, where the hell is that in New York City? Because
I think it was probably down in Soho.
But it just doesn't look like that anymore. So I was like, where are these alleyways? And what just your experience was it? Did you have a fun time shooting that? God, I mean, I can't imagine that you didn't.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of the best times shooting a movie for me. Not only, it was just such a script and we had so much fun making the movie, but being around Parker Posey, it's the first time I was like, I just got to be myself. Like, it's the first time I thought, fuck, you just have to be yourself. She's such a unique person and just just such a creative, like, unafraid, like, performer that she's just so inspiring. And it was a really, really great experience.
Would you say she's unapologetic?
Yes, 100%. Completely.
Yeah, no, friends of mine in college, we worshiped that movie. And it was just like, obviously, I mean, do people come up to you and just say, imitate a cat puking?
When people do, I think, oh, fuck yeah, you're a true fan. Like, if you know Party Girl or Nowhere, then I think,
okay,
you're a true fan.
Speaking of Nowhere.
Speaking of Nowhere, so I was doing a little Marie Kondo action a couple of weeks ago, and I found some of these.
Oh my God.
These are like Nowhere promotional postcards for the soundtrack from Tower Records. You can have that, by the way. And you want to sign a couple and we'll give them out to our listeners.
Oh, and the soundtrack is amazing on it.
Yeah,
the soundtrack of Nowhere is so good.
And that's the reason the film is not found on DVD or streaming in the United States, because the soundtrack is so amazing they can't get the rights to all the songs.
Wow.
Oh, right, because the licensing would probably be too expensive.
And fun fact about Nowhere, I got Nowhere because of Parker Posey.
Oh,
because I had done Party Girl and Parker had done Doom Generation with Gregor Rocky, who was the director of Nowhere and Doom Generation. And Parker invited him to a screening of Party Girl. And he saw me in the movie and he was like, I want him to be in my next movie. And Parker called me and gave me Greg's number and we connected. So thanks to Parker, that's how I got Nowhere.
I want to say, I think I was 21 or 22 when that film came out. And it was the first time that I saw people my age that were gay, that weren't prissy or a caricature.
Or unapologetic.
The relationship that was depicted between you and Jeremy Jordan was so like real and heartbreaking that it made me feel okay about being gay. It didn't make me feel like, oh my God, I'm going to end up like one of those guys on the Birdcage.
Right.
Which is totally okay,
I love the Birdcage movie.
Which is totally okay, Madonna. But, it wasn't me at the time.
Right.
No, and exactly. It was showing a spectrum.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I sort of loved about like in Party Girl as well, like Mary's best friend, like that scene where she's like taking the clothes out of the closet at the party that they're at, and like her gay best friend was still really funny, it wasn't like he was sort of more Brooklyn than he was gay, even though he was gay, but it was like it was just matter of fact. There was no issue about it in that, like it wasn't like this was a gay character and they were bringing it up that he was gay. He was just gay.
Yeah.
Like sort of like what Daniel Levy does with his character on Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yeah.
He's just I just want to have a gay character and there's no homophobia. It doesn't exist. If it was a perfect world, this is what we have.
Yeah. And also in Nowhere, sorry to interrupt, Debbie Mazur is in Nowhere as well, who is Madonna's longtime friend. And I remember being on set of Nowhere and talking to Debbie about Madonna. And she was telling me how great Madonna is. And she, I was just, in awe of Debbie because I was like, oh my God, like you are friends with Madonna.
Like BFFs.
Yeah, it all comes back to Madonna with me
And
every
not
time.
only friends, but like a presence in her life from before they had money, and still a presence in her life. I mean, you remember when they all went to Cuba for her birthday a couple of years ago.
Yes. And I mean, even during Basquiat and Keith Haring, during that time, like you said, Tony, before they were famous, they were running around with these, artists, these super like amazing artists. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I remember reading about, Madonna voraciously in the 80s and all those magazines like Details and, Interview and all that. And they would always talk about Debbie M, her makeup artist. And I'm like, who is this lady? And then I put it together. I was like, Debbie Mazar is Debbie M. Hello.
Yeah.
Watch the videos. She's in all of them.
And the cops are coming to get me, guys. I gotta go. I shouldn't have stole that jacket from the pop-up shop. Fuck. Why? Because I'm Spanish? You coming to get me? Not only do I have a few Madonna tattoos, I have more Madonna tattoos than this one.
You do?
I also have a bunch of Basquiat tattoos because I love Basquiat.
Yeah.
And one of them is a Basquiat piece where he writes Madonna's name, but then crosses it out and writes Venus, which was his current girlfriend. That I have that tattooed.
Did you
on
hear
my
that
arm.
story about the fact that Basquiat had given her like 3 paintings?
Oh, yeah.
And then she gave them back when they broke up, and he destroyed them. So she had original Basquiat paintings, and because she didn't feel it was right to keep them after they broke up, so she gave them back, and he just painted black over them.
Oh my God! Doesn't she have one though? Doesn't she have a Basquiat?
Yeah, but I think she bought it at an auction.
Right, so she got that after the fact. These were ones when they were dating. He made just for her, and because he was so I guess hurt or angry or whatever, he just painted black over them so that way nobody could have them. I was like, oh my God, they'd be worth. I mean, Lourdes' great-grandchildren would be able to live off them,
I think one of his paintings, he was the first American artist that sold for like 10 million recently, right? Is that correct?
That's crazy.
Oh my God. Anyway, not only that, the nostalgia and the just having
a
piece by Basquiat.
From that time, and it's another New York.
But she's got a bunch of herring. She's got a bunch of Keith Haring stuff.
She's got one of the best.
Not pickled herring.
She's got she's got one of the best private collections out there. Like she's like a serious art collector. It's kind of crazy. But good for her. But maybe you should start your serious art collection with one of those.
I think I'm gonna have
those things from the pop-up shop.
Dude, I'm seriously considering it. Like no joke. I'm like, I need to buy one of
they'll
these.
ship them. I asked.
They will.
They said because I was like, how are you gonna get one? I'm like, you don't have a plastic bag for these. What are you gonna do? And they were like, no, actually, we will ship them. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They're like, that's the only item that we're shipping though, because somebody had asked me about from the podcast saying, "Okay, can you get me a Crave hat?" Because they have those like little hat, and I was like, well, I'll look and see. Maybe maybe they can like send it to you, or like if you call up, like we don't have a phone here, and I'm like, oh, okay.
They didn't have any hats left when I was there.
Yeah, those. I think that they're pretty much all gone.
We're gonna see a sea of those hats.
Totally at the show.
Yeah, they're
I'm craving one of those hats.
But
So Madame X is a couple days away. We don't know the set list. What do you want to hear that hasn't already been rumored?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I honestly don't know.
Because we all want Rescue Me.
Yeah, so
and I think we're gonna get it.
Oh yeah. I know Batuca's gonna be in it because I remember
she's dragging those women on tour with her.
Yeah,
she's not having them do that to not do that song.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the Batuca Dares have been living in Brooklyn for the last 6 weeks?
Probably in a better apartment than you or I have.
Oh hell
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's no place like home. No, I'm kidding. I really want her to do Bad Girl. I doubt she's going to do it.
Yeah, I know. I'd love that too.
I really love Crave. Love Crave.
She'll do it.
And Dark Ballet. I hope she does Dark Ballet.
I think she will.
Yeah.
I think it seems. I honestly, I have a feeling we're going to get most of the songs from Madame X. Like it's going to be
usually does
all the songs from Madame X, and then a sprinkling, like not even full songs. So like how she did "Love Don't Live Here Anymore." It was only like a little bit after Heartbreak City. I have a feeling, or like Papa Don't Preach on the MDNA tour.
Yes.
Just like like a verse and a chorus, and then we're moving on. But she better not shortchange just like that with Rescue Me.
I mean, I want to hear "I Know It" and "Think of Me." I also want to hear "Jimmy Jimmy."
Stop it! Love makes the world go round.
Yeah.
Stop pulling our legs.
White Heat is one of my favorite songs.
I love White Heat, and if I ever heard that live, I would die.
Well, she did it in the Who's That Girl tour, but
she was trying to make that one happen the same way she's trying to make I Rise happen.
Really?
Well, you know she's closing the show with I Rise. You know that's she's totally doing it. I just want
I Rise is here to stay, people.
Get on board, people, because it's all right. So I know that you're a busy man. You've got to go stalk Madonna's townhouse and do some serious shopping at the pop-up shop. So we're going to close out our episode with a little bit of lightning round fun. We do this with all our guests. So top 5. So this is just off the top of your head. Don't think about it. And it doesn't have to be of like what your favorites were 5 years ago. It's just where you're at today in your Madonna journey. So top 5 favorite Madonna songs.
Impressive Instant.
Yes.
Bad Girl.
Yes.
Oh God. Crave. Of course. Live to Tell.
Okay.
How many is that?
4.
And I would say Batuka again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. So a little smattering of
Yeah.
classic and
Yeah.
mid-range
Yeah.
and new. So there we go.
Top 5 Madonna performances, TV, music video, or film.
Oh man, I love when she performed "Bad Girl" on SNL.
Yes.
That was
of course.
perfection.
Fight the real enemy.
Yes, Fight the Real, and it's Joey Buttafuoco. I love "Lo que siente la mujer" from Drowned World Tour.
It's gorgeous.
That's one of my favorite performances. I love "Fever" from Girly Show. I love "Justify My Love" from Girly Show.
Yeah, it's so good.
In those outfits. How many is that?
4.
Oh, damn. Like a Virgin from Blonde Ambition, of course,
Yep.
is
Yeah.
epic and iconic and forever will be. And
You can add a bonus one if
And
you want.
also unapologetic.
You can add a bonus one.
oh
is
yeah,
fine.
unapologetic bitch when you go on
when
stage.
Stefan was on stage
Yeah.
in Philadelphia. No. Do you have a favorite Madonna look? So like it can be like a look from a video, a look from a tour, a personal look, you know.
Right. I love her look during the whole erotica period. I love that little
The gold tooth.
No, not necessarily the gold tooth. I love the what she wears to the sex book opening. To the premiere.
It was like the Heidi.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God.
She had the stuffed lamb.
Yes.
When I saw that, I'm like, she looks like she's on crack.
And she had no eyebrows.
She shaved her
loved
eyebrows,
it.
and she was really happy about it.
Yeah, but she can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite looks was always the Goth Donna look from when she did the Truth or Dare premiere party, where it was like the slick jet and the like smoky eye when she was on MTV blowing the bubbles with Kid and Play and like Niki and Donna like Truth or Dare. You want to fuck us? Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my God, it's so fun.
I always get a lot of shit for liking the Vanity Fair Stephen Meisel spread where she's done up like a little girl.
Oh, the little on the playground.
Yes.
It's
or
kind
the little floaty.
Yes,
right?
or like the where she's hugging the whale and she's got that little heart-shaped cutout of her
That's
ass.
a really great look.
It's super dirty, but years later, I was working on a mood board and we were, referencing old Playboys, and all of those looks came from Playboy in the late 60s. I'm like,
Oh, totally.
Madonna,
Yeah.
how could you?
I mean, she's honestly, there are some, I want some more iconic photo shoots like that. Like,
I do too.
she hasn't, I mean, the Madame X one that she did was very refined and this, that, but I'd still love, like, when she used to just appear in magazines and have all of those.
Yeah.
Do we think there's going to be a tour book?
Oh, I think there's a book at the pop-up shop, but I don't know what. I didn't look through
It's
it. Did
not
you see
a
that?
tour book, though.
Oh, it's just a photo book. Like
I don't think, but I'm
collection
like,
of photos.
I'm assuming it'll be at the venues.
Yeah.
I'm buying the tour book. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all I have
know.
left.
He's scrimping up his bus fare so he could afford a little bit of the tour book. That's it. But otherwise, Madame X has robbed us blind.
But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. I've loved the lead up to the tour. I'm so excited to see her this week. Can't wait. It's very exciting.
Yes, we're going on Thursday. So
this Thursday.
Yeah, she opens on Tuesday, and then she has another. She's doing back-to-back shows. I don't know if you can take it 2 nights in a row.
It's not like I'm playing stadiums. Or what did she say?
But Guillermo, we just wanted to thank you for taking the time to come and be a guest on our show today. This was a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun talking about Madonna.
All I can say is it didn't happen soon enough.
Madonna makes the people come together.
It's true.
Big believer of that.
It's very, very true. And
Thank you guys so much.
I'm excited to hear what new experience you have with Madonna at the Madame X show. Like if she's going to bring you up on front row, but I'm assuming like all those seats have got to be really decent in the Wiltern.
It's a small venue.
It's I know I'm the second show I see, I'm like balcony second row, and I'm like, that's still going to be amazing. Like it's still going to be super close.
100%.
Unlike Tony, but Tony has he has the second to last row on the upper balcony, so that is probably going to be not the best. But
that ticket is currently on sale at Ticketmaster if you would like to take a crack at it.
But you never know. Maybe now, like maybe someone of her people will come and move you down.
Right?
Either way, I'm going to be there and I'm going to enjoy it unless I sell the ticket and the lucky recipient will have the night of their lives.
But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us today for another fun-filled episode of the MLVC podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Look for us on Instagram at MLVC Podcast. Also, MLVCpodcast.com. Send us an email if you have any questions or comments or
just want to shoot
say
the
hi.
shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Take care.
Bye.